2018 Bombay High Court. Deepa Sanjeev Pawaskar versus State of Maharashtra. A post-natal patient comes back to the nursing home with severe vomiting. The doctors are out of town. She is admitted by staff and the doctor treats her over the telephone through the nurse. She dies. Pulmonary embolism. The High Court refuses anticipatory bail. The finding: prescription without diagnosis. And 2 years later, it produced the Telemedicine Practice Guidelines 2020. The guidelines aren't a statute. They are Appendix 5 to the Indian Medical Council Ethics Regulation of 2002, gazetted on 12th May 2020. Then the NMC's 2023 conduct regulations were notified, carrying new telemedicine guidelines that would have replaced them and were put in abeyance 3 weeks later. So the position today, the 2020 guidelines are still operative. There are 4 categories. List O, over-the-counter, paracetamol, antacids and whatever the center notifies in a public health emergency. Any mode, video, audio or text. List A, safe, no abuse potential. Skin ointments, eye drops, oral hypoglycemics. And List A, on a first consultation, requires video, not audio, not chat, but video. Refills afterwards can be any mode. List B, add-on medicines to optimize an existing regime, adding enalapril to atenolol. Follow-up consultations only, which means there must have been a prior in-person consult. The prohibited list, Schedule X under the drugs and cosmetic rules, and anything under the NDPS Act 1985. Never by any mode on any consultation. And follow-up is a defined term. It isn't a patient I know. It means the same practitioner, the same condition within 6 months of a previous in-person consultation. Change any one of those and you are back to a first consultation with first consultation rules. Different doctor at the same clinic, first consultation. Same patient, new complaint, first consultation. 7 months since you last saw them in person, first consultation. Mode is your clinical judgment, except where the guidelines mandate video. If you feel an in-person examination is warranted, you're entitled to insist on it. And you may never insist on telemedicine. The patient can always refuse it. Identity. Teleconsultations cannot be anonymous. You state your name and qualifications at the start. You verify the patient's name, age and identity. Consent. Implied if the patient initiates. Explicit if you or a health worker initiates it, and record it. Let's look at the records. The guidelines require you to keep phone logs, text records, video interaction logs. Not just your clinical note or case paper. The log of the interaction itself. Plus patient records with the consent, history and reports. Plus the prescription record and a signed prescription sent to the patient by email or message. Charge what you'd charge in person and issue a receipt or invoice. Then the IT Act and the DPDP Act 2023. Your teleconsult records are digital personal data and your clinic is a data fiduciary. So let's go back to the Pawaskar case. It was about prescribing without arriving at a diagnosis. The 2020 guidelines exist to give you a defensible path to that diagnosis. 3 things you need to do tonight. Know which list your commonest prescriptions fall in. Switch first consultations for list A drugs to video and keep the logs, not just the notes. Thanks for watching.